education has immense power to transform the world.
Education is what shapes the next generation and kind of determines how we move forward as a society.
I see the potential for education to transform the lives of others.
Education is important to me because it's one of the biggest civil rights issues of our time that we've never really quite gotten right for everyone.
Hi, my name is Catherine Zhang and I'm president of the Undergraduate Council. Our education committee has been doing a lot of work on the sphere of education here at the university, and we think now's the time for Harvard to create an education secondary. Let's go ahead and hear from students why they believe that having an education secondary would be important to the college.
Currently at Harvard, students that are interested in education don't have a formal mechanism by which they can get to meet other students that are interested in education.
It would be really beneficial for fostering a community.
A community of students who care deeply.
The secondary is an important step to making education really valued at the undergraduate level here. So if we had an education secondary, it would just show that Harvard believes that you don't have to get to grad school before you start critically thinking about learning.
Having an education secondary would allow me to continue to pursue something that's incredibly meaningful to me in a way that would both allow me to make a difference more effectively, and that would also, I think, kind of just serve as recognition of the fact that education is a legitimate discipline, not only as kind of a trade, but also as a more theoretical practice.
If you want to do education, I know some people who are doing social studies and writing a thesis in education, but perhaps for someone who's more, STEM related, taking other classes outside of social studies with education, because education definitely pervades into every subject.
I think there are a lot of interdisciplinary courses that really feed directly into education.
There are a surprising amount of people at Harvard interested in education, but we don't know that other people exist who are interested in that because there's no center for it.
Part of the reason why I feel like I've struggled so much in choosing a concentration is because my passion is education. I think having the structure of a secondary, having, for example, recommended courses, required courses that you need to take for the secondary, is a form of information that right now is really lacking to anybody that wants to study education but isn't sure how to start.
Courses at the ed school and courses that help me think about education help me think about my own experience as a learner, which is really valuable, and I've noticed myself thinking about that more in classes that are totally not related to education.
Education was the first class I took that deeply gave me a new perspective on the world.
I think Harvard has the potential and the resources to be able to enable its students and really make a difference in the field.
At its core, Harvard is an educational institution, and by mere fact of that, I think it's extremely important that education be offered as an academic discipline for students to be able to learn about how it impacts us and how we can therefore impact the education system as well.
There are blinders on people when they think about what education can be. And so I think that having that institutional backing to it will really change that perception both here and I think more broadly.
This is something that a lot of the students are interested in and would like resources for.
One thing I would love to see is plenty of advisors
who are involved in the education world.
So having the secondary and having the ability to have mentorship, advising, seminars that range on everything from child psychology to ed policy to social emotional learning and everything in between, I think would really change my college experience and the way I kind of look at the world.
Thank you so much for considering giving us an education secondary. There's definitely a hope for it on campus, and we do hope that it becomes a reality.